Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm your host, Jared, for our Week 9 pick show. Fair warning, if you or a loved one has had a weak stomach within the last 24 hours, I recommend you turning this episode off and tuning in later on. It's going to be ugly. You may need special medication once you're finished listening to this episode. With that discretion, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude, now let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. There you said it just like that. Come on, baby. We took the shovel. We dug into these lines all week long. We came to an agreement. I'm glad we was able to knock this out because, like you said, some of this shit stinks, bro. Matter of fact, I got a weak stomach my goddamn self. I might have to listen to the podcast a day after, hoping on a fucking Sunday morning or something just to get by. But I'm ready, man. I'm ready to lock in. I'm ready for a 5-0 week. We were just so close, but it's time to go ahead and deliver now.
I mean, I'm going to say it. This was probably the most we've ever put our heads together for our selection before we obviously are recording this. And, there was a few spots that we had to pick between, but I think we went with the ones that we would be least sick if it lost.
Right.
You guys will completely understand what I'm talking about because obviously you don't know the picks yet, but you'll find out soon. Just a brief disclosure. Obviously, for those who listened last episode, you knew that we did not have the exact lines. So we were basing it off of those lines. So we were giving our judgment based off the current DraftKings lines as of last episode. Some of those were whole numbers. Obviously, in the contest, they don't want any pushes. Therefore, these points, if they were a full number, have been moved either to a half short or a half higher. But we have 5 picks as we do every single week. It's our first week after the bye. It's time to lock in for the rest of the season. We want to climb and climb and climb. We want to make some good damn money, and it starts today. Week 9 picks. Let's get it popping.
All right, here we go. So in all likelihood, Deshaun Jackson's going to at least get a return. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding? Way downtown. Is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Donnell, start us off. What are we leading the contest off with this week?
We're leading the contest off with the big boys on the block. Right now, they have been on fire. The Ravens -5.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. Why? Let me tell you why. This Ravens team has, to say the least, they've been on fire recently. They put up 31 points against the Arizona Cardinals last week, and Lamar Jackson only had 174 total yards. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I know that has to feel good for Lamar. And granted, it was the Cardinals, and they have been playing hard. They fight hard every week. But for Lamar Jackson to only have 174 total yards the previous week, and still put up 31 points, that only makes me feel even greater about this coming week against the Seattle Seahawks that, one, likes to run the ball. Baltimore is great with that. That for a Seattle team that struggles in the red zone, their red zone defense for the Baltimore Ravens is top notch. And also a Seattle Seahawks defense that struggles in the red zone. And of course, the Ravens are topping that. I mean, damn, it's to the point where it's like every weakness you give me about the Seattle Seahawks, the Ravens have an answer for. Their weaknesses are the Seattle Seahawks' weaknesses are the Ravens' strengths. And I mean, like I said, I couldn't be elated more that we're going with -5.5. They actually gave us the hook. I remember we talked about it. It was at -6. When they gave us that -5.5, that made it even juicier. Something we had to take. And it's in Baltimore. Yeah, give me Ravens -5.5.
Yeah, the Ravens are the hot hand by far. This team has looked like it's clicking on all cylinders, and Dino hit it. The biggest takeaway is all of the Seattle Seahawks weakness is the Baltimore Ravens strength. So, this number is a little bit high, but if you dig into the numbers, rightfully so, this Ravens defense is going to force Geno to pass the ball. And Dino and I talked about it before we started recording this episode. Geno Smith has been turning the ball over a little bit more than he should lately. So if he's struggling to read the defense of the past few teams he plays, he's going to have a hell of a time trying to throw past Marlon Humphrey and you got Roquan Smith patrol in the middle. So not only is he one of the best run stuffers in the league, he also patrols the middle of the field, a little bit Fred Warner-esque to his game. I love the Ravens, -5.5. That's our first pick. Let's move on to our second pick of the week. We got a little buzzer beater news on this one. So this obviously was one that we locked in. We've got the Browns -8.5. another large spread. Uncharacteristic for Donnell and I, but
Sure.
rightfully so. The Cleveland Browns have one of the best defenses. Do we know who is suiting up for the Cardinals? Not necessarily. Looks like Kyler Murray was considered questionable, but he's taking the trip. However, let's be real. If Kyler Murray has not been basically borderline ready for the entire year, he's not going to hop on a plane, travel to Cleveland to face a tough-ass defense on the East Coast for his first game of the season. They're just not going to do it. Tune is going to start this game. I mean, I'd be surprised otherwise. Tune is going to start this game. So we have a rookie quarterback who is not up to speed at all, hasn't played a snap going up against Myles Garrett. I mean, like I said last episode, if Tune starts this game, I mean, I would be surprised if the Cardinals score a point. Like, the Cardinals may not get the ball past half field. I mean, it's going to take a miracle and a wish to get the ball downfield against this defense. They're just going to be feasting. They're going to be hungry. Their eyes are going to be huge. They're going to run through that weak ass offensive line. And this team is just, they don't have the personnel to match up with this Cleveland defense. Like, they're going to get worn down very fast. The third and fourth quarter might get really ugly. I think the Browns pull away here. I think 8.5 is just not steep enough, especially with Deshaun Watson starting this game.
Oh,
yes. Is Deshaun Watson going to throw for 325 yards? No. Was PJ Walker? No. But the thing with Deshaun Watson is he is most likely not going to turn the ball over in crucial situations as PJ Walker may. So we've got a little bit more
experience.
Yeah, a little bit more experience with Deshaun Watson. He's going to take care of the ball, and that's a big thing when you have a large spread. No turnovers. So as long as Deshaun Watson protects the rock, I think we're good. And did I miss anything on that, Donnell?
I mean, no. Like I said, the ceiling for the Arizona Cardinals offense passing the ball is double digits. Justin Fields type numbers or -9 yards, Tommy DeVito Giants numbers. Honestly, I don't see this team putting up more than 9 points. Let's just go with that.
It's crazy how the average quarterback has dropped off so severely the past few years. It's actually unreal. But moving on. Dino, I'll let you take the keys to this vehicle. What is our third pick in the contest?
Bro, I'm going to take these keys, start up the Lambo. We driving down to Tampa, baby. Bucks plus 2.5. Why? I'm going to tell you why. This Bucks team can actually win this game outright. If you remember guys, your Moneyline Round Robins I play every week. Yeah, this would be one of my picks for the Moneyline Round Robin. I mean, this defense, all right, guys. I mean, we talk about this all the time. This defense aren't no slouches at all. They're in a very, very tight division race with the Saints and the Falcons outright. And on top of that, the Gravediggers secondary shows out every week. All right. And like I said, those Gravediggers have been playing and showing out every week for the most part. And they're going against a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud, who has been impressive. But now you're starting to see teams and defenses start to game plan around CJ Stroud and his strengths. You can see that in the loss to the Carolina Panthers last week, which the Panthers got their first win by that same regard. They only put up 13 points. And honestly, the potential of the Bucs offense can definitely reach at least 20. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin can go out there and make explosive plays throughout the game. And like I said, guys, plus 2.5. I got this team winning the game outright. What are we talking about? Tampa plus 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you guys who actually pay attention to the stats and the eye test, obviously, CJ Stroud he hasn't looked like the same quarterback as the last few weeks as he was at the beginning of the season. They're not getting to third and manageable. He's getting a little bit more greedy down the field. He's taking a lot more deep shots. He's taken away from the flow of the game. Not as efficient in the red zone. They're settling for a lot more field goals. The defense has been playing well, but we're mainly betting on the Bucs defense. I think we're going to get a couple turnovers here. I think obviously Dameon Pierce being out is huge. That's going to force CJ Stroud to throw the ball more, and that's what the Bucs want you to do. They want you to take shots downfield. They want you to get greedy. They have a very disciplined secondary. They don't get penalized very much. So I like the Bucs in the spot. I know they're on the road, but it seems like a really good bounce back spot for Baker. He's had a rough last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I think he gets right versus this Texans team. I think him and Mike Evans get back on the same page. So give us the Bucs plus 2.5 as our third pick. Staying in the NFC South, we're backing Bryce Young. Panthers plus 2.5. This is probably one of the uglier picks this week. Mm-hmm. But truthfully, the new play caller kind of opened my eyes last week. So obviously Frank Reich not calling the plays anymore. That new play caller puts motion into this Panthers offense. They look like they have life again. Bryce Young getting outside of the pocket, making plays, using his legs, just looks so much more of a fluid offense. This offense looks like they can get the ball down the field. They converted third downs, which felt like they have never done that all season. So last week they were actually getting the ball downfield. They just weren't really connecting in the red zone. So obviously I think Thielen is going to have another big step this week. They're facing this Colts defense, and you can see, like, Shaq Leonard was just, he was displaying he doesn't like his role in the defense right now. He's getting frustrated. He thinks they're giving up too many big plays. He feels like he's just becoming a pass rusher. He likes patrolling the middle of the field. And that's the biggest thing. This Colts defense lets a lot of big plays over the middle of the field. So they like bringing pressure. The only thing that makes me worried is this Colts offense going to go out there and look like, the engine that it has been. Obviously, they've been putting up points. That Shane Steichen going over there putting up points. He's the new head coach of that team. They haven't really lost a beat ever since Anthony Richardson got hurt. So that's always a worry. But I feel like this Panthers defense has been surprising lately. So the Panthers defense, they were looking bad at the beginning of the season because the offense was really making them be on the field the whole time. So Bryce Young go out there 3 and out, defense is back on there. Same thing all games. So the defense was getting tired, they were getting worn down. But now that this Panthers offense has been staying on the field a little bit more, battling for time of possession, I feel like they can give their defense a rest, and I think they can put up some points here. So I really like the Panthers in the spot. I know Bryce Young just got his first win last week, but I feel like that's not a fluke. I feel like this team has some momentum going.
No doubt. Like I said, adding that time of possession is so crucial for a young team like this. Like I said, for the defense to get that breather and have the offense really show some fluidity, man, it does wonders. And you've seen it, like you said, you've seen it last week. You give CJ Stroud less opportunities, and you make him really try to do a perfect game. He ends up with just 13 points and end up not looking too sharp. So no, I agree with, trust me. That's one, like, this is an ugly play, but this is a very, very solid, good play at home. And Bryce Young's starting to figure it out, man. He really is starting to figure it out. I agree with you there.
Yeah, like I said, guys, it's not going to be a pretty week. We've got a few ugly picks, but no uglier than the caboose, the end of the train. You can't forget the caboose. He puts it all together. Dino, it would be an honor for you to display our last pick.
For the last pick in our week 9 slate, where are we going? Where do y'all want to go? We're going to go to Vegas, right?
Oh,
and we're going to lay we're going to lay -1.5 with the Raiders here, backing Antonio Pierce. Why? Let me tell you why. Well, first things first, let me give y'all a little.
This isn't a funeral, by the way.
Right,
this is a celebration of life.
Yes. Oh man, what? Tell me about it. He's gone. He's finally gone. I've been partying. Devontae Adams been partying. Hunter Renfro's been partying. Everybody's been partying since that motherfucker has left. Thank goodness. I don't know why it took this long. Next up is Stale Staley, but we'll get to that at another point. But you see the feel of this locker room now. Let me ask you guys something, right? If you guys go to work, right, and you're working for dickheads, shitheads, and people who just don't seem like they're in for your best interest, and it doesn't help you whatsoever throughout your job, why would you want to perform at a high level at your job? And granted, I mean, who wants to perform at a high level and get paid minimum bucks anyway? But why would you perform to your high level when you feel like you're undervalued by your coaching staff? I mean, your coaching staff is all serious. There's literally no fun in the workplace. They're so strict and stringent. There's no, they don't know morals, partial of it. That's gone now. There's new management in town. Antonio Pierce, who, by the way, was a former Giants middle linebacker early in the early 2000s. That's motivation to get your coach a win. And it's even more motivation when, like you said, you can have fun again. You can breathe again. Devontae Adams said himself, I'm ready to run through a wall for this man. What? That lets me know these boys are ready to play. The Raiders never lacked talent on offense. They just lacked a creative mind or a coach that will let's get the best out of them. I mean, honestly, it was just such a gloomy feeling. Like it was so upsetting to see the way the Raiders have turned since Bisaccia and Derek Carr left. That is a shame. How from Bisaccia and Carr, you make the playoffs, and then you get Josh McDaniels that comes in here, brings his guy Jimmy Garoppolo, brings him over just for him to lead the league in interceptions right now. That's not, what I'm saying. As a defensive player, as an offensive player, how do you feel about that? You don't feel really good at it at all. This Raiders team is finally ready to unleash feel free, and play some good-ass fucking football against a Giants team with Daniel Jones at quarterback. And we all know how that's been. Tyrod Taylor was the better quarterback in the past 2 weeks, and that was their 2 best games. So when you put that all in perspective, this Raiders team should show out, should definitely bring some energy. And honestly, knock on wood, I got this team winning by double digits this week, hands down.
Yeah. It looks like Tyrod Taylor is going to be out this week, which is only beneficial to us because Tyrod Taylor doesn't turn the ball over. So if Daniel Jones rushes back, he's not 100%, can't really use his legs. He's going to be throwing downfield. That's what we want. This Raiders defense is no slouch by any means. They have pieces. Max Crosby gets pressure on the quarterback almost every single play, it feels like. I mean, I like the Raiders in this spot, truthfully, even if they didn't fire their coach. Like, this is just a good spot for the Raiders. Mm-hmm. You add in the emotional attachment that this game has. I love it. Like, we know the Raiders are just, they haven't been great to us. But we're paying our respects. So, realistically, this is a good spot for the Raiders. They're going against the Giants. The Giants are a dumpster fire. Their offense is going to struggle with Tyrod not playing. They're either going to run the ball all game or they're going to take shots downfield and turn the ball over. That's just how I see it. So I love the Raiders in the spot. I think Devontae Adams has a big game. Go Raiders.
And also, real quick, too, they also sorted the deadline. They just got rid of Leonard Williams. So there's really no pressure going on the other side of the field.
The expectations, obviously, for the Giants have kind of diminished. So they're just going out there playing football. That's at this point. And the Raiders, I mean, they have nothing to lose. So the Raiders going to go out there and ball, and, it is what it is. So those 5, our picks are the Ravens -5.5, the Browns -8.5, Buccaneers +2.5, Panthers +2.5, Raiders -1.5. Those are our 5, Donnell.
That's right, baby. I'm rocking with it, baby.
So we're still surviving. I mean, my Survivor contest, I give you guys my pick every single week. Let me just take a quick glance at what we're looking like, because last time I checked, people were dropping like flies over the last few weeks. Like, the Chiefs lost, and a few weeks ago the Browns lost, and the Niners lost, whatever it was. Let's just take a quick look at the Survivor pool. Just by the way, if I do end up winning Survivor, we're definitely going to do a podcast giveaway. Obviously, anybody following my Survivor, if I win, I mean, pretty much you're going to win because I'm giving you guys my picks. Regardless, if I do win Survivor, expect a nice Shred the Spread giveaway. But let's look at what we're looking like. So we started with 107,000 people in the contest. We are down to 7,000, and we are not even halfway through the season. So we got some ground to gain. Obviously, we got to be safe. But with that being said, we have to get our Survivor pick. Dino, I think there's 2 obvious choices this week, and it's either the Browns or the Saints. And I said Browns or Saints for the simple fact that before we record this episode, I was going through Survivor, and I didn't necessarily know if Deshaun Watson was going to play or not. Well, it looks like Deshaun Watson is going to play. So my favorite pick, the one that I'll be playing in my Survivor pool, is the Browns. If you have, for some reason, already used the Browns, or if you're nervous about Kyler Murray playing for some reason, then go ahead and use the Saints. There's a couple other cute angles you can take, but let's not get too cute. It's not even halfway through the season yet. Let's play it safe. Let's keep on surviving. So I like the Browns. And if you have already used the Browns, I also like the Saints. But with that being said, those are our 5 picks. That's our Survivor pick. This is week 9 already. Donnell, we are sitting in the money for our contest.
Oof.
Making some decent money. We're sitting in 135th as of right now. 135th.
At how many people?
Out of there was 3,367.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Come on, man.
So we are 63% against the spread so far. We're 22-13. Obviously, we had our first losing week 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So let's get back on track. We're still hunting our 5-0 week. It potentially could be this week. We say that every week, but obviously you're either hot or you're due, and we're due. So those have been our 5. That's our Survivor. Dino, do you have any last words for the fellas before we get out of here?
The same words I tell you knuckleheads every week. Bet responsibly, don't bet stupid. Tune in, follow us on Twitter at Shred the Spread. We will give you updates, funny tweets. Like I said, if the White Titans won yesterday, I would have drunk coffee and mayo on the actual set on the tweet. So if you want to catch moments like that, where I might make some funny bets throughout the week, definitely tune in live, guys, and lock in. We dug the shovels up. We took the shovels out. We dug in them lines. Now let's get this money because Vegas over.
Yeah, Donnell said it. Follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. You can also follow us on TikTok at ShredTheSpread. For the Shred the Spread podcast, this has been week 9, our best episode for Donnell, myself, and our awesome producer, Tyler. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode. And until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.